Great to be back again with another edition of Circulo di CISO. And this time around, we're going to talk about professionalization. There are professions which are very popular, and a lot of time parents tell them, oh, become a doctor, become an engineer, become a pilot. But today, when we talk about technology, IT, cybersecurity, the question always which springs up, is it a profession? Or should it be a professionalization? Or are there resistance to professionalization? So to talk about this interesting topic, I have with me my good friend, Benjamin Luck. I call him, and he calls himself as well, a cybersecurity combatant. A very well-experienced cybersecurity professional with several years of experience. He also has CISSP, CISA, and several other certifications and qualifications. And one of the highlights about Ben is he's been actively involved in forming a chapter in Brisbane. So he's also giving it back to the community by bringing fellow cybersecurity professionals to talk about the subject, find solutions, and ensure that we have a safe and secure cyber world. Ben, thank you so much for being here and taking time to talk about this topic.
Thank you for this opportunity. Looking forward to talking further about professionalization, chatting with you this evening.
Sure. So Ben, what we would do is we would be doing this in 4 parts, right? So the first part of this conversation is going to be, is there a resistance to professionalization? And for the viewers, you have to look out for the other episodes which will come after this. So one of the things we will be talking about is why we need professionalization of cybersecurity industry or the cyber industry. The second one would be, or the third edition would be emerging professionalization worldwide, or how is the world evolving around this professionalization. Last edition would be current state of professionalization globally. So Ben would be sharing a lot of insights on this key topic, right? And several times or many often, what we do is we ignore this subject. We just get into doing the work, but should we be recognized as a professional is the question. So Ben, if you could just walk us through in terms of the history, popular cultures maybe, and why we need to see ourselves as leaders or as rebels. Ben, over to you.
Thank you for the introduction. Considering looking at, I guess, cybersecurity, we've got a history there where we've had our Kevin Mitnicks or our Bill Gates. There's kind of people that have helped build the IT industry and cybersecurity industry. And often the case, it has this sort of view, I guess, of the working out of the garage, making a business that's going to take on IBM and Bill Gates' point of view, or Kevin Mitnick, so a bit of a rebel, breaking the system. And we've kind of seen that come through our pop culture as well. So, when you look at a lot of movies or TV, it's often, I think the classic movie is like Hackers with Angelina Jolie, so those rebellious kids, hacking the system, but for a better world, taking on the big man, or Mr. Robot, where it's probably a little bit darker, but still that same kind of thing, where it's this rebellious kind of sort of feel to this cybersecurity. And I guess that's where it's interesting in our own mindset, is that we have this view that we do have that kind of mindset where, like, we're rebels, or we're trying to rock the system or get forward with it or something. So, and still in that mindset component. I guess this is a problem too, where that's how everyone else sees us. How the public sees us, how our clients see us as well. So that actually doesn't help us. But what would you say, Sujit? That's Sujit?
Absolutely, absolutely. So how do we, take it from here, right? Or like you gave examples of Mitnick, and you also talked about how Bill Gates, built from a garage to what it is today, what Apple is today, right? And you also spoke about different cultures and how it is being portrayed. So the question is, I mean, maybe you answered it before, but I'm just going to ask you again. Are people being portrayed in a bad light? Is that what causes resistance to professionalization?
Yeah. So, and I think it does. And I found this, like, when I've talked to just the normal professional, business professional. I said, like, well, I say, what do you think about cybersecurity professionalization? And they always go, that's really great. That give us confidence, and thoughts and so forth on that. It's like, it means that, just like other professions, like doctors, who have this doctors have this ethical, knowledgeable sort of point of view of their professionalization, or even a soldier, it's like honorable and sacrifice. So we want to move along and have people think cybersecurity people as like, ethical and considering society and things like that. We want to be associated with that. When often IT people or cybersecurity people, it's more like, often it's a bit like, oh, we don't want regulation, or we don't want professionalization, and I think that sets back to that pop culture mindset. But we need to change that way that we're viewing, so we can fit in with what the public wants, not what we want. So, and that's actually part of the professionalization. We change our view to the public, and which means we've got to change our mindset. We've got to stop being hackers and become defenders. We're that professional components. So we need to move from being rebels to being leaders in our profession, and that's how we get that professional view and point of view going across.
Absolutely. So I guess, I mean, my takeaway is that there is a profession, and the people who are in it are professionals, and there are a few bad eggs. Some will be rebels. Some will deviate from the set norm. And that doesn't mean that the professionalization should be resisted. I think for the greater good cause, and also, more importantly, to build trust in the ecosystem, we need to make cyber a professional outfit, or it needs to be made a professional function. So with that, we will bring this short edition to a close. And when we meet next, what is up next would be why we need professionalization of the cyber industry. So the question is, why should we be called a professional? So to hear more on that, please look out for our next edition, which will be out very soon. Thank you, Ben, for being here for this edition. So I look forward to speaking to you on the next topic. Thank you.
Thanks, Sujit.